Okay, so on a scale of 1 to rope swing, I've got Epic Hat, and I just put on my board shorts. A word that doesn't really translate here. But I have the waterproof door on the GoPro, and we are gonna go there because this beach, I think it's pretty safe to say, and especially if you're from the south, you're gonna understand this. This sumbitch is mine. Okay, edit. Anyway, I have Epic Hat, and I obviously have Only Child Beach. So I'm going to put my stuff down here. Excuse me. And I know I can't go in too long because I forgot sunscreen on my head, but I did want to, I got pretty red yesterday around here on my neck, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave my hat here, which means I have a finite amount of time. I'm actually walking there in my flip-flops until right here, because you guys ever experienced the kind of pine trees they have here with these things everywhere? They're all over, and they don't feel great on the feet. For good luck, I have my bracelet that Gracie gave me and the bracelet that says Gracie and Mike on it that Reese got me. Now, if I complain about the temperature of this water, okay, dude, this water is literally warmer than the pool in our condo. Come on. All right, let's check this out. Now, I'm gonna do this with the camera, and you can be like, oh my God, Mike, sharks. Am I gonna die? Oh my God, this feels I am so, oops, sorry. I am so grateful I'm gonna be able to share this with Reese. Okay. No, it's not tears, that's seawater. I'm so grateful that Gracie is in my life, and I'm so grateful that I get to share this with her and her daughter. I think I'm having my period because I'm really emotional right now. Oh, guys. I want to thank, I think it was Vinegar Media. If it's not, I apologize, because I do read every single one of your comments and I really appreciate them. But I think he made a statement on one of my last videos that at 7 minutes and 50 seconds in, he noticed my gratitude attack and was sharing in it. And I think I'm about 75 seconds into this video and I'm having a major gratitude attack. So from here, I am up to my eyeballs in seawater. What does the GoPro look like when I'm like underwater? Because I think if I open my eyes, I'm not gonna be able to see. I just sat down on the sea floor, man. There's the Mazda 2, way up there. Auto exposure? Yeah, let's do a checkbox on that. 4 minutes and 13 seconds in. Ah, come on, right? Ah, are you kidding me? It's funny, I think that, I don't know if it's the same architect, but certainly that building over there, it's basically the same design as the Divari Hotel. But guess where I'm not? In crowded Jomtien. There's also an aquarium down here. So that's something that we'll take Reese to as well. The water. The only thermometer I know of is the one that is in the it's in the Mazda, and on the dash it was telling me that it was like 28, 29 as I was driving down here. And but the problem is that because there's so many trees between me and the Mazda, I can't drive the Mazda down and just like throw the beginning of the car into the water to get the temperature. So honestly, I'm gonna go with like 25 degrees. No, it's gotta be warmer than that. I bet it's like, I still kind of default to Fahrenheit. Like, what does this feel like? It's hard for me to say, oh, this feels like X amount Celsius. I'm still sort of at Fahrenheit. So I would say the water is probably like 84. Oh man, so you know what I'm reflecting back on? That's a rhetorical question. No, you don't. I'm reflecting back on that beach that I was at in Phuket during COVID, and it was only Child Beach. In fact, I think we may have referred to it up here at the Cool Kids table as Mike's Beach, potentially. But I remember walking on that thing and I was having a major gratitude attack. And if I recall, as I was doing it, the time of year, it might have been like May, end of May, June, July, something like that. So I might have just celebrated, how long ago was that? I might have just celebrated like 28, maybe 29 years sober. As of this video in 2023, I am 31 years sober. And that is an accomplishment, but I will tell you that my experience after getting about 20 and then 25 years, it's kind of like, wow, I've been using the restroom like an adult, like a big boy. I've been using the big boy toilet since I was, you know, because it's just like part of my life. It's kind of like most of you guys are probably like, man, I've been brushing my teeth for 58 years, you know? And trust me, not drinking is awesome, but you know, once I kind of got in the hang of it, I mean, that's what a lot of these programs teach. Sorry, I was gonna say teach us. That's what a lot of these programs taught me, is to basically live life to the best of my ability, not cause harm to other people, take care of my side of the street. There's all these little cute little phrases that you probably hear regularly in sitcoms now, because it's like every movie or every TV show I seem to watch, there's always like one character, oh yeah, he's sober, oh, he goes to AA meetings, you know. And the good news is that usually because of that, the character is actually well liked and respected. So that's good, because I can tell you it's Alcoholics Anonymous, it's not Well People's Anonymous. Everyone there is there because they really want to figure out how to remove the obsession to use drugs or drink alcohol or something like that and live a fairly normal life. But it's kind of like what happens when you get a drunken horse thief sober. Well, you've got a sober horse thief, you know, so you need to learn how to do life properly, pay your taxes, buy insurance, you know, that sort of thing. Have a driver's license. But anyway, there are times in my life where I have gratitude attacks like this, and traditionally, one of the things that I reflect back on is how grateful I am because I'm sober, that I got sober, I had the chance to get sober, I got friggin' lucky enough to get sober. But the other thing is that Gracie's in my life, and that I have this daughter that, you know, I mean, I met her and it wasn't like, oh, well, who else comes along with this package? It was like, I love you, let's hang out, right? And then met Euryce for the first time, and you know, even for a while there, even recently as less than a year ago, I would say Gracie's daughter, you know. No, I'm on board. She's my daughter, and our daughter, sorry. But I get it. It's Gracie's birth daughter. But anyway, I'm so happy to have that whole thing in my life. Now, compound that with the fact that I'm here. And this ain't so bad, right? I mean, look at this. Is the GoPro picking up the level of green? I don't know if it can, because the angle of the light that's hitting it, I don't know if like it shows up as that, you know, super clean water. I can, well, to be fair, okay, so I'm like 6 feet tall, and if I look straight down, I can't really see my feet. Now, I'm also walking around in the sand, and so I'm churning it up, so potentially... Could you see my feet moving just then, or was it like too muddy? It's not muddy, sorry. Was it too sandy? I don't know. So what's this called? This isn't a walk and talk. This is a swim and talk. I don't know if I've ever done one of these. I know that I've taken the waterproof GoPro Hero 9 into the water before, and talked, but I don't know if I've done this. Now I know what's gonna happen. I'm here and I'm in this beautiful water and it's kind of cool. And I'm gonna forget that like the big shiny red bucket of photons up there is pummeling my head. And oh, I think that was a fish. And I think that I'm going to get a sunburn if I'm not careful. Now the good news is I shaved this morning. Why is that good news? Because if I shave this morning, then that means I don't necessarily need to shave tomorrow. And by that I mean shave my head. Because if I get a sunburn and I need to shave, ooh, that doesn't feel so great. I have this, not concern, I have this question. Is it absolute? It's not, probably not absolutely, but for the majority of people, or sorry, for me, and maybe you guys, is it necessary for me to go through a bad to be able to notice, appreciate, or really be grateful for a good? Because I shared in a previous video, I was actually just editing a video earlier today, and I mentioned on the live stream that I need a new laptop. More than anything, I need a new friggin' battery. See, that's the downside of buying these laptops, right, that are just like so powerful, is that, you know, there's they need a lot of juice. And so, you know, the battery lasts 2 hours. Although I think there's something wrong with this battery, because I swear I had the thing turned off when I put it in my bag this morning and it had charged all night. And when I turned it on at the restaurant, it said 75%, and I'm like, what? And then I edited. I know I wasn't at the restaurant for an hour. I might close to, but maybe not. And I got down to like 4 or 5%, and I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I just saved the project. Anyway, the point is that I was editing another video, and in that video I was talking about how much I needed this. You'll see it sometime. It's me at a national park. And the national parks here in Thailand, if you've ever experienced them, they're quite awesome. They're well maintained in my experience. And this one was absolutely no exception. Cost me 200 baht to get in. I literally, after being in and out, I would have been like, I would have paid 1,000 baht for this, because I needed it. And I think one of the things that is the indicator that I still am learning, I'm still growing Ankara Imparo. You guys hopefully heard me reference that earlier this month in a video, earlier this week in a video. I'm always learning, because I think I need to get to a point of stress before I get unstressed. I need to get to a point of lack. Some degree of it, some degree of lack, before I can appreciate an abundance. I think. I'm not sure. Man, this is so. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get my hat. It's only 83 baht. I'm gonna sacrifice my hat in this water. Hold on. That cooled me off. I'm gonna sacrifice, potentially, I don't know, maybe if I just wash it out with like fresh water afterwards and then wring it out, it'll be fine. But maybe that's why it's 83 baht, because it's a one-use hat in water. But I'm gonna go get my hat, because I want to put this on, because I want to stay in here. and I don't want to I don't want to have I'm already probably at lobster stage, but I don't want to be that way. But one of the things, it's so salty. I love that. Did you guys spend any time like in salt water, like as a kid? Oh, there's little fish jumping. That's what probably. Oh, there are. There's tons of them everywhere. And I think they're the ones that, like, when you put your foot in. Oh yeah, they're flying past me right now. Oh my God! Wait, if I put that. Okay, good. So I started it again. Sorry. There was like a whole bunch of those little fish like cruising. Sorry. There was a whole bunch of those little fish cruising right past me in the water, and I think they're the kind that like they put in the tanks and you put your legs in there, and you basically identify yourself as a really obvious foreign tourist. This is great. I don't want to leave, and I'm not leaving. But what I am doing is getting my hat. I rarely remember SPF. I was going to say, I totally forgot my SPF today. No, I forget my SPF all the time. All right, I'm going to try this without my flip-flops on and see how detrimental these like pine cone thingies are on the bottoms of my feet. So far, I seem to be navigating around them. So, okay. All right, tell you what. All right, I'm going to do this. I wonder how much of that throwing the camera around just now I'm going to edit out later, because of my vanity and belief that I'm fat in certain areas. My face looks fat even when I don't weigh much. It's frustrating. But anyway, yeah, so $83 hat, $83 Baht Hat. $2 hat, $3 hat, $3 hat. Okay, so now I can go back out in the Gulf of Thailand, baby. It's only a short swim between right here and Hua Hin. Cha-am. Hua Hin, Phuket. Way down there. I wonder if you could take a boat from Pattaya to Phuket. What would that take? Probably like 2 days. Maybe not, I don't know. It wouldn't take the 2 hours that, or the 15 minutes that the boat took in The Hangover Part 2 to get from Bangkok to Phuket so they could get married. Oh yeah, there are these little fish like jumping everywhere, man. And you're probably like, yes, Mike, remember we told you that that was bait? So as it turns out, because there's so many little fish there, there's going to be a gargantuan fish that's coming soon to feed on all of those, along with your leg. We'll see. I don't know about that, but for right now, I'm living the dream. I'm actually going to get this hat wet and see and test it out and see if it's one of those deals where like if I just wring it out or if it totally damages it. So let's go. Well, hey Gilligan, what's up, buddy? This is an interesting time of year for me. I guess I don't make New Year's resolutions, although I don't really know what the definition of resolution is. It seems like that's basically synonymous with I'm going to remove something I label as negative from my life in the new year, with in parentheses meaning I'm going to restart doing it again probably mid-January. But so what I do is I try and set sort of, well, the first thing I do, and I learned this years ago, first thing I do before the end of the year, potentially right after the year too, is I write down 10 things that I did the previous year that I'm really proud of. I learned to do that through a mentor that I had. Basically, we refer to them as a sponsor, but he was more than just a spiritual guide through the 12 steps that saved my life. He was a mentor, and he He was a big brother. He was like a West Coast father, because my dad, who I love and respect and try and learn from as much as I possibly can. Obviously, my folks are back east, and I was living in San Diego. So Bill, he was a big mentor for me. We also started and ran a business together. It was an internet radio station before that was like kind of a thing. And that was in the early 2000s. And the reason we did it is because he wanted to start, he wanted to play music that was related to recovery. So you know how there's like genres of music and like they label those with the MP3s and everything? So there's rock and pop and hits and R&B and all that jazz. Well, we started a new genre of music, which was recovery music. And so a lot of the music that we would play, they would have a theme of like recovering, and not just from drugs and alcohol. That was the majority of it, right? Because like, you know, so as an example, like Keith Urban, right? So he got sober and he started writing tons of songs about being sober and how it's better and how he had to hit bottom before he, you know. And so that was really cool, and that's inspiring for a lot of people, because a lot of people will read a book and get inspired and do something. A lot of people will like take a course and get inspired and do something. A lot of people will have a mentor and watch them do stuff and then do that something, and then, you know, get inspired and do something to improve their lives. Many people, I believe, listen to a song and get inspired by that. It's a form of art, right? Many people will look at a painting and get inspired, maybe. Maybe people will look at a photograph and be like, oh my God, I'm really inspired. Wow, that's Niagara Falls. That's really big. I need to do something big, whatever. So anyway, so we believe that we could sort of share the message of recovery through music. And so we started 12stepradio.com, which I don't believe the domain is actually live any longer. Bill passed away, I think, almost 3 years now from ALS. That is not fun. Don't get ALS. It's a really lousy, slow way to go. But I guess we don't get to choose that, right? But I will tell you that it was very painful watching him, because this was the guy that we flew down to Nashville, because actually September is National Recovery Month in the United States, if you don't know. But, and it might be that way in other countries too, I don't know. But anyway, so we flew down to Nashville, and we would use one of the studios down there, and we recorded almost 2 albums. We recorded one, and then we produced it. And Bill sang on every one of them. And there was another woman, Pink Cloud Tracy, and she wrote a lot of the songs. And then we mastered them down at this studio in Nashville, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of it, which is too bad. It was really fun. But you know, Bill would be in a booth, and then the musicians would be in another one, and these guys, it would just be like, hey man, start this, and they would just like start playing. I mean, these guys are studio musicians. I'm sure they're live musicians too. They could probably play the guitar on a stage, but they were amazing. And so we made these, and so then this is a guy that like would sing, like, but he and I would also talk, and we would talk on the radio, and I was on the radio, and of course I put the whole radio station together because that's what I do and I love it. But I was also on the air, and we played all this music, and we added value, and we had a blog, and we had probably about, I want to say, not 20,000, we probably had like 19,000 people that signed up for this blog, and they would post things. And so we had sections, you know, like recovery, newly sober, relapsing, you know, what do I do, and like, you know, get help from other people. And it was great because it was, you know, it was back in the early 2000s. So it wasn't like there were online meetings via Zoom like there was, you know, before COVID, and then certainly during, and then even now after, there are some meetings that still are online, Zoom meetings. But so we had a lot of interaction. It was great. We had a logo, we had t-shirts, we had bumper stickers, I had business cards, you know, it was great. Anyway, one of the things that I got to learn from him was that whole, hey, and Mickey is how I'm known from a lot of people. He's like, Mickey, look, you've got to like write down 10 things you're really proud of. And he said that to me because I was at a time in my life where I was not feeling too good about myself. I was ashamed. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I had lost my job because I don't know, a lot of people that I do respect, labeled me as being unemployable at the time. And so that was about 2002, 2003, because I simply wasn't taking care of myself. And I've shared a little bit about that in other videos, but at the time, that recommendation of like find 10 things that you're really proud of, I couldn't. I think I got to like 1 and then struggled, went back and saw him like a week later. We talked a little bit more, and I came up with either the total of 3 or 3 more. And then he's like, dude, what about this, 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 and this? Nobody else can do that. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about? That's just what I do. You know, I just totally wrote it off. So anyway, so around this time of year, and also at the beginning of the following year, what I try and do is I try and write down 10 things that I'm really proud of. And I remember one year I was like, I was really comfortable in my own skin. I was proud of myself. I was doing good things. I was a good son to my parents, and I don't think I was dating, so that meant I was a really great boyfriend because I wasn't dating. But one of the things that I wrote down is I made my bed every day. And I know that may sound kind of silly, but my point is that I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick something that is a SMART goal that I can achieve, meaning S.M.A.R.T, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So time-bound is, in other words, so for me, it was, I'm gonna make my bed every single day for the entire year. Achievable, yes, it's achievable because there's a high likelihood that I'm going to be near a bed every single day to make it, and asking myself to make the bed because I'm not in a wheelchair and I'm totally able to do it and I know how to do it, I can do it. It's specific. I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna clean the house, right? It's just like, that's a big thing. I'm going to make this bed every morning. Measurable, did I make the bed or did I not make the bed? Pretty easy. Relevant simply because it's like, you know, every morning you wake up and your bed is not made, and so, okay, so, and then, like I said, time bound. So I was able to get a really simple example and have the infamous low-hanging fruit and have an easy win. And I will tell you that that exercise really helped me to set what a lot of us will also refer to as BHAGs, if you guys know what that is. B-H-A-G, big, hairy, audacious goal, meaning we are going to send a man to the moon and bring him back again safely. That's a pretty, in 1967? And he said we're gonna do it by the turn of the century. I think they did it in 69, right? But regardless of when Kennedy said that, that's an example of a BHAG. We're gonna send a man to the moon, which we've put to land on the moon, which we've never done before, and bring him back safely. And so every now and then I try and find a BHAG, and I don't know what my BHAG is gonna be for 2024. And I don't believe I actually had one in 2023 this year. What I am really proud of is the fact that Gracie and I were able to, we kind of architected a life, not totally intentionally, but somewhat, such that when my parents needed us to go there, it was pretty simple. It was just like, okay, go online, make the flight, go to the airport the next day, get a ride to my parents' house, our family home, bam, take care of my parents to the best of our ability. And that's another gratitude attack moment that I got, that I was able to do that. So anyway, that's something that I'm gonna do here. I haven't written down the 10 things yet. A lot of times I do my New Year's goals and that sort of thing a few days into the new year. Here's why. At least 7 of the last 10 years where I've been during New Year's Day sort of thing has been somewhere that I could find a chain hotel, traditionally one of the Marriott properties. I don't know why, it just sort of happened this way. And so what I would do is I would stay there like January 2nd or January 3rd, when basically the place was empty. It always seemed to be like, you know, once people come in, they do their thing, they do their champagne toast, they spend, you know, an enormous amount of money on a dinner, but they have a good time, they enjoy it, most people do. No one puts a gun to your head to go have a champagne toast for $100, but people do that, and then they're back to work on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever. So within basically about the first 5 days of the new year, I was able to get a room at a hotel that was almost, you know, basically completely vacant. And I remember doing that one time near San Diego, And, you know, the price of the room went from like $6.99 to like $1.99, which, you know, again, in San Diego, a room for less than $200. We have a word for that, Joe. It's called free. And because San Diego's just ridiculous. And so what I would do is I would take that day and I would, you know, I would get there like the previous night, check in, chill out, maybe do a little bit of writing. But the following day, it would be sort of dedicated to me writing and, you know, reviewing the previous year and coming up with some SMART goals for the following year, with the A being sort of the one that I'm really sort of discussing right now, which is attainable. Like, what's a realistic goal, you know, and what's relevant. I think a very appropriate goal for next year is for Gracie and I to find a university that's appropriate for Urice. And by that, I mean basically the next school she's going to go to. She may not start out at a 4-year college and start her bachelor's program the following fall. Because I'm not quite certain of the level of expertise she's going to have to be able to enter a university system after getting a high school diploma from a Philippine public high school. I don't know that yet. That said, she's a junior and she's doing really well in pre-calculus. So that makes me very proud, but also very hopeful that she'll actually be able to start, you know, but I kind of want to have her go to, I want her to go to a university where basically pretty much everybody speaks English and it's not English as a second language. Now her English is quite good now, but you know, I want to have her go to a place where the likelihood of her falling back into speaking Tagalog is very limited. God, it is so nice out here, guys, and I love it. There's a nice breeze that I can sort of feel, you know how it. Hold on. That helps me cool off. The infrared is pretty intense where I'm at. Hold on. Oh, that's weird. It like almost dries out. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to dry out. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. So, you know, so that's probably a goal for, you know what I would love, because I think this is going to be airing as a premiere, being published as a premiere. What I would love is to have you guys type in some goals that you have for 2024. Actually, let me back up. What I would love is for you guys to put in the comments, as well as the live chat that I believe is either over there or over there. I can't remember which way this video is, but the live chat on this premiere. One thing you're proud of that you did in 2023. Excuse me. And then also potentially one goal that you have for 2024 and you may not have thought about it. I mean, I think this is probably going to air. I'm going to go with probably plus or minus a few days around December 20th-ish. So I would argue that's close enough to the end of the year where you guys are probably starting to think about this sort of thing, or at least I am. If I go here, a couple things happen. One is I get a good idea of the sun that's on me and where I'm going to potentially get a sunburn, which is probably from my, from my nose down, which is where I got really burned yesterday. I didn't get burned. I just got a lot of sun on my chest because of the open part of my shirt at the top. So that would be something I would really like to talk about, because I want to be able to learn from you guys. And I want the other people here at the Cool Kids table to be learned from the others, because that's what makes the table cool. Because I would submit that the majority of you guys, and you know who you are. But what I would like to do is I would like to talk about goals for 2024. And I want to be able to learn from you guys. Is it easier for you guys to potentially set a goal for someone else? Is it easier for you guys to come up with a goal for one of your buddies here in the chat, Chris? Is it easier for Chris to come up with a goal for 2024 for me? Or is it easier for Chris to come up with a goal for 2024 for himself? Because I love Chris and he's my brother. And neither of those is wrong, right? In fact, you could probably do both of them. It's not easier to do either one. It's loving and caring to do both. I come up with a goal for myself. It potentially even involves another one of you guys here at the Cool Kids table. So that's pretty cool. I know that one of my goals is to do whatever I need to do to make my parents comfortable and happy for the entire year. I don't know what that looks like, so arguably it's not real specific. So one could say, well, Mike, that's not really a SMART goal. It's a goal, and I know that it's attainable because I can do it to the best of my ability. There's certain things that I can't do. Like, in other words, I can't be there this afternoon, right? To like drive my dad to a doctor's appointment or something if he had been, which he doesn't, because I have all his doctor's appointments in my calendar. Usually. Not, maybe I'm missing one or two, but... Ooh, hot. Whew, that's helpful. So goals, yeah. That's kind of a neat topic. That's not what I set out to do. I did not set out to go swimming. I did not set out to do this video. I did not set out to bring my camera into the water and talk with you guys this long. I literally thought I would just go into... And so, and I share that because so many things that have happened in my life have not been goals I set. Specifically, meaning I want to be happy. If you had asked me in, let's see, when was June or July of 2019, when Gracie and I were home, at our family home, and it was basically summer, and I was, I was on vacation, and I was working at the University of San Diego, and we did have a new CIO at the time, and he was a jerk, but he was only going to be there temporarily, right, which turned into, like, he still hasn't left yet. And because it's real easy to get lost in the university and just like work there and do absolutely nothing innovative and just do the exact same thing over and over again every single year. And that sadly builds trust in the administration. So you can just hide there and do nothing, which is very frustrating. And I'm an innovative kind of guy, so it was pretty squelching for me. But if you had asked me that summer, because of course I thought, well, shoot, he's going to be gone by the end of the year. If in October I would have been flying back to my folks' place and saying, you know what, I can't do this anymore. P.S. I've got 4 pieces of luggage I'm going to store upstairs in my bedroom, and then next month Gracie and I are going to move to Thailand permanently, and then come back here whenever you guys need us, or for the summers or whatever. So my point is that yeah, I can set goals all day long, but a lot of the things that have happened in my life that I just am massively grateful for have happened simply because I took advantage of a situation that was occurring at the time. And I invite all of you guys to sort of throw that in your spiritual backpack and have that as sort of a default setting for your goals. Meaning my goal is to see opportunities as they come by. Don't miss out, which I have. I've missed out on a whole bunch. And but I've caught some along the way, and I've also just gotten really, really lucky sometimes, right? Sometimes you just get really, really lucky. Timing is everything, isn't it? My dad uses that one, as do many other people in the world, but I reflect back on my dad using that with me when we were talking about various things. So wow, this has been how long? Anyway, a gratitude attack later. I was glad that I was able to hopefully improve the lives of anybody watching this. I don't know if I want to say it that way. I'm hopeful that this added value, because that's one of the overarching goals that I have that is not necessarily specific or measurable. I want to add value when I go places, and sometimes the value of that is seeing some person, they look up at me, I smile, they smile back. And that's the best I can do that day. But I didn't detract from them, I hope, right? So anyway, I hope this added value. With that, it's Mike's from livemyassoff.com saying, I hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living your dream, there's a high likelihood that you have not just basically... I was wondering how long I'd be able to do that with any degree of elegance. You'll probably not floated around in in the Gulf of Thailand. in December at high season where you don't need to share the beach with anybody else. And with that, I love you guys like a fat kid loves cake. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. It's fun laughing at yourself, isn't it? See ya.